Imagine waking up one morning, feeling a little heavier on your feet. Your hands, once nimble, seem slower. Your memory, just a little foggier than yesterday. You brush it off, thinking, I'm just getting older. But what if it's not just aging? What if something silent, hidden deep in your bloodstream, is quietly accelerating the clock? Pause for a moment. If you've ever felt like your energy, your sharpness, your resilience is slipping away faster than it should, today's video could change the way you see your health after 60. Forever, aging is inevitable, but how we age, how strong we stay, how sharp our minds remain, how much joy and independence we preserve, is influenced by far more than just the number of candles on our birthday cake. One of the most underestimated players in this story? Blood sugar. Even if you've never been diagnosed with diabetes, even if your doctor says your numbers are normal, unstable blood sugar could be silently damaging your body every single day after 60. It's not just about sugar crashes or feeling tired after a meal. Over time, elevated or unstable blood sugar can quietly speed up aging, affecting the strength of your muscles, the elasticity of your skin, the sharpness of your mind, the health of your heart, kidneys, and nerves, even your emotional resilience and motivation. And the worst part? Many seniors experience these changes without ever connecting the dots back to their blood sugar. They blame getting older, when in truth, something preventable is working against them. Here's the good news. When you learn to recognize the subtle signs and make a few powerful changes, you can slow down this hidden aging process. You can reclaim energy, protect your brain and heart, stay stronger longer, and live not just more years but better ones. Today, we'll explore how blood sugar silently sabotages your body after 60, the overlooked symptoms you need to watch for, and most importantly, simple, practical ways to regain control and turn the tide in your favor. Because aging is not just about losing time. It's about protecting the quality of your time. And that journey starts right now. The hidden thief of strength. After 60, Joe was never a gym fanatic. But he had always been strong enough for the life he loved. Fixing things around the house, tending to his garden, lifting his grandkids high into the air. Yet, sometime after turning 63, Joe noticed something unsettling. The shovel felt heavier. Bending down took more effort. His grandkids, still tiny, now seemed too heavy to lift without a grunt. At first, he told himself, it's just part of aging. Everyone slows down. But deep inside, he knew something didn't feel right. It wasn't just his muscles. It was his very energy, slipping away little by little. The culprit? Not just aging, but unstable blood sugar silently eroding his muscle mass and draining his vitality from within. The science behind it. You see, muscles are like the body's batteries. They store and use sugar, glucose, for energy. But when blood sugar levels are consistently too high, even slightly above normal, it sends confusing signals to your body. Instead of using sugar efficiently for energy and repair, the body starts to store it as fat. Inflammation rises, muscle fibers don't repair properly, and over time, this leads to a gradual but devastating loss of strength, mobility, and stamina, a condition called sarcopenia, which accelerates after 60. It's not just about losing muscle mass, it's about losing independence. Because when muscles weaken, so do balance, stability, and the ability to do everyday things without fear. And here's the dangerous part. You might not feel it all at once. It creeps up slowly. A few pounds of muscle lost here, a little more fatigue there, until one day climbing stairs feels like hiking a mountain. Another story, Carol's experience. Carol, at 67, was always active. She walked every morning with her best friend, kept a small vegetable garden, loved cooking Sunday dinners for her family. But after a year of unexplained exhaustion, she found herself skipping walks. She stopped gardening. She ordered takeout more often. It wasn't laziness. It was her body quietly crying out. A simple blood test later revealed the truth. Her fasting blood sugar was just a bit elevated, not diabetic, but enough to start undermining her strength and energy. She had no idea. because no one had warned her that even borderline blood sugar could silently accelerate aging. What you can do. The good news is, even small changes can make a massive difference. Move your muscles daily. Even gentle resistance exercises. Using your own body weight, light dumbbells, or resistance bands. Tell your body, preserve muscle, protect strength. Start with just 10 minutes a day. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. Balance your meals. Each meal should include protein, healthy fat, and fiber. These slow the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, giving your muscles a steady fuel supply, instead of sudden sugar spikes and crashes. Hydrate wisely. Dehydration worsens blood sugar instability. Aim for water-rich foods like cucumbers, berries, leafy greens, and regular sipping of water throughout the day. Listen to your body. If climbing stairs feels harder than it used to, if lifting groceries feels heavier, don't brush it off. It could be a silent call for help. Deeper truth. Your muscles are not just about strength. They are your independence, your freedom, your ability to hug, lift, walk, dance, explore. Protecting them means protecting your life's most precious moments. When the mind starts to slip and no one notices, Frank was the kind of man who always remembered birthdays. Every grandchild, every neighbor, even the lady at the grocery store. He prided himself on his sharp mind and warm heart. But lately, Frank found himself searching for words more often. Names he knew by heart hovered just out of reach. He lost his car keys 3 times in a single week. His family joked, "Old age, huh?" Frank laughed along. But deep down, he worried. Was this just aging? Or was something bigger happening inside his brain? What Frank didn't realize was that something far quieter and far more dangerous had been at work for years. Chronically high blood sugar damaging the delicate blood vessels in his brain. How blood sugar secretly affects the brain. Your brain is one of the most energy-hungry organs in your body. It depends on a steady, balanced supply of glucose to function, to think, remember, focus, and feel emotions clearly. But when blood sugar levels stay elevated over time, several damaging things happen. Inflammation rises inside tiny blood vessels that feed the brain. Insulin resistance develops, starving brain cells of the energy they need. Toxic proteins build up more easily, increasing the risk of cognitive decline, dementia, even Alzheimer's disease. This damage doesn't scream for attention at first. It whispers, slower recall, more senior moments, mood swings that feel unlike yourself. And unless addressed, those whispers grow louder year after year. Another story. Linda's wake-up call. Linda, 65, had always been sharp. Crossword puzzles were her morning ritual. She prided herself on remembering every detail of her favorite novels. But over the past year, something shifted. She mixed up appointments. She forgot the names of new neighbors she'd just met. At her daughter's urging, Linda went for a health check. The shocking part? Her A1C, a measure of blood sugar over time, was just slightly elevated. Not enough to be labeled diabetic, but enough to quietly starve her brain of the steady fuel it needed. The doctor explained, "You don't have to have diabetes for blood sugar to harm your brain. Even borderline levels can do damage if left unchecked." Linda made immediate changes, and slowly she began to reclaim her clarity. What you can do. If you notice signs like forgetting appointments or names more often, struggling to focus on conversations, feeling moodier or more irritable without clear cause, don't just chalk it up to getting older. Here's what helps protect your brain. Choose brain-smart foods. Focus on foods rich in omega-3s, like salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, leafy greens, and berries that are low in sugar but high in antioxidants. Keep blood sugar stable. Avoid skipping meals. Balance every meal with protein plus fiber plus healthy fats to prevent blood sugar spikes and crashes. Challenge your mind daily. Puzzles, learning a new skill, playing a musical instrument, all stimulate new brain pathways and build resilience. Move your body. Even light daily exercise boosts blood flow to the brain and improves insulin sensitivity. Pause for a moment. Has there been a small change in your memory, your focus, your mental sharpness recently? Something you told yourself was nothing? If you've ever felt a flicker of doubt, you are not alone. Type number 3 in the comments if you've experienced this. And let's support each other in staying sharp, strong, and fully alive. Deeper truth. The mind does not simply grow old. It grows stronger or weaker depending on how we care for it. Protecting your brain after 60 isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about keeping your stories, your laughter, your love intact for the decades ahead. The silent strain on your heart after 60. Margaret always prided herself on her big, generous heart. She volunteered at the community center, watched her grandkids every other weekend, and stayed as active as her knees would allow. She never thought much about her blood sugar. Her weight was reasonable. She didn't feel sick. But at 68, Margaret began to notice something subtle and worrying. Simple walks left her short of breath. Climbing a small hill felt like scaling a mountain. Her ankles sometimes swelled by evening. Still, she waved it off. "I'm just tired," she thought. "It's normal at my age." It wasn't. Behind the scenes, years of slightly elevated blood sugar had quietly begun to harden her arteries and weaken her heart, long before any doctor warned her. How blood sugar quietly damages the heart. Your heart is a tireless worker, beating about 100,000 times a day. It depends on flexible arteries to move blood effortlessly. It relies on clear signals from your body to adjust blood pressure, oxygen levels, and more. But when blood sugar stays too high for too long, arteries stiffen. Sugar sticks to proteins in blood vessel walls, making them less elastic. Inflammation rises. Chronic low-grade inflammation damages vessel linings. Plaque builds up faster, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes, even if cholesterol looks okay. The heart muscle itself weakens, making it harder to pump blood efficiently. The tragedy? This damage often accumulates silently. You might not feel anything until a crisis occurs. Another story. George's wake-up call. George, 71, considered himself relatively healthy. He loved big Sunday breakfasts, pancakes, orange juice, syrup, a feast he said he earned after retirement. He felt fine, until one morning he didn't. Chest tightness, cold sweat, sudden, crushing fatigue. In the ER, tests revealed he had significant heart disease, despite no major warning signs before that day. His blood work told the story. Elevated fasting blood sugar for years, overlooked because he wasn't diabetic. George survived, but his life changed forever. The doctors told him bluntly, "You don't have to have diabetes for high blood sugar to damage your heart." What you can do. Protecting your heart after 60, especially from silent sugar damage, is one of the most powerful things you can do for your longevity. Here's how. Watch your carbs, especially liquid ones. Sugary drinks like soda, juice, and even sweetened coffee cause rapid blood sugar spikes. Replace them with water, herbal teas, or sparkling water with a splash of lemon. Move daily, but not excessively. Gentle, consistent movement like walking, swimming, or Tai Chi improves insulin sensitivity and keeps blood vessels flexible. Check blood pressure regularly. High blood sugar often travels with high blood pressure, a dangerous duo. Track your numbers at home and discuss any changes with your doctor. Prioritize quality sleep. Poor sleep raises blood sugar and blood pressure. Aim for 7 to 8 hours with a cool, dark, quiet environment. Pause for a moment. When was the last time you really tuned into your body, your heartbeat, your breathing, your energy after a walk? If something feels different, even subtly, don't ignore it. Your body speaks softly before it screams. If you're committed to protecting your heart after 60, type #HeartStrong in the comments. Let's build the community of strength and awareness. Deeper truth. The heart does not just grow weaker with time. Near me, it grows weaker when neglected, when warning signs are brushed aside. Your heart, your life's rhythm, deserves your full attention, your care, your love. When the damage is silent, until it isn't, Helen was proud of her independence. At 70, she still drove herself to appointments, handled her finances, and loved tending to her flower garden. But then came the odd tingling in her feet. At first, she blamed it on standing too long. Later, she noticed it when sitting, a numbness creeping up that made it harder to tell if her slippers were even on. Then came the swelling, subtle at first. Later, her shoes no longer fit by evening. By the time Helen sought help, her kidneys were under strain, and nerve damage had already begun. The silent consequences of years of blood sugar slightly above normal, dismissed by doctors as borderline. How blood sugar silently attacks kidneys and nerves. Your kidneys filter your blood, removing waste, balancing fluids, and keeping you healthy. Your nerves control everything from movement to digestion to sensation. Both are extremely delicate. Both are deeply vulnerable to even modest elevations in blood sugar over time. Here's what happens. For the kidneys, high sugar levels force them to work overtime. Over time, the filtering units, nephrons, scar and die off, leading to chronic kidney disease. For the nerves, excess sugar damages tiny blood vessels that feed the nerves. This starves nerves of oxygen and nutrients, causing them to wither, first with tingling, then numbness, and eventually, sometimes, devastating loss of mobility. And the cruel part? You often don't feel these damages until they are far advanced. Another story. Peter's early warning. Peter, 66, noticed he was getting clumsier. He dropped his keys twice in one morning. He stumbled over a step he knew was there. He laughed it off. Until he realized he wasn't feeling the ground properly beneath his feet. A visit to his doctor revealed mild nerve damage and early kidney strain years before any major symptoms. His blood sugar? Just a little high, they said. But that little had been enough to quietly fray his body's vital wiring. Luckily, because Peter caught it early, he could act and slow down the damage before it robbed him of his independence. What you can do. You have more power than you think to protect these vital systems. Monitor your blood sugar, even if you're not diabetic. Ask your doctor for an A1C test at least once a year. Track fasting blood sugar at home if possible. Aim for steady, moderate levels, not just avoiding highs, but also lows. Support your kidneys daily. Stay hydrated with water and water-rich foods. Limit excessive salt and processed foods that strain kidneys. Protect your nerves. Focus on foods rich in B vitamins, especially B12 and B6, healthy fats and antioxidants. Gentle stretching, yoga, and balance exercises help keep the nervous system engaged. Listen to small signals. Tingling, numbness, swelling, unusual weakness. These are not normal aging. They are your body's quiet plea for attention. Have you noticed a change, even a small one, in your balance, sensation, or energy lately? Something you were tempted to brush off. If your body is whispering, listen. Listening now could save your freedom later. If you commit to paying closer attention to these quiet signals, type #ListenCloser in the comments. Your future self will thank you. Deeper truth. The biggest threats to our health after 60 are often not the ones that roar, but the ones that whisper. A quiet symptom today could be a silent victory or a silent regret tomorrow. When blood sugar affects more than just the body, it touches the soul. Betty had always been upbeat. Even after retiring at 65, she filled her days with gardening, book clubs, and laughter-filled afternoons with friends. But around her 68th birthday, something shifted. She felt heavier inside. Simple joys didn't lift her spirits the way they used to. Some mornings, she struggled to find a reason to get out of bed. Her doctor suggested antidepressants. Friends said, "It's just aging." But Betty knew it was more than that. It was as if her inner light had dimmed, And no one could tell her why. What was really happening? Blood sugar instability was quietly sabotaging her emotional resilience. How blood sugar impacts emotional health. After 60, most people think of blood sugar and imagine physical symptoms: fatigue, weight gain, thirst. But blood sugar levels are deeply tied to emotional well-being too. When blood sugar spikes and crashes repeatedly, mood swings become more common. Anxiety and irritability creep in without clear cause. Motivation fades, even for things that once brought joy. Depressive symptoms can deepen, sometimes mimicking clinical depression. Why? Because the brain's neurotransmitters, the chemicals responsible for happiness, calm, motivation, rely on steady glucose supply. Wild swings deprive the brain of consistent fuel, causing emotional storms inside. It's not just in your head. It's chemistry. It's real. And it's reversible. Another story. Samuel's hidden battle. Samuel, 70, was a quiet, gentle soul. He loved woodworking, spending hours in his garage crafting beautiful pieces with his hands. But lately, even picking up his tools felt pointless. He couldn't shake the heavy feeling, a cloud that seemed to settle over everything he once loved. His wife noticed. She urged him to get checked. Blood tests revealed something surprising. His blood sugar levels, though not high enough for a diabetes diagnosis, were unstable enough to be impacting his brain chemistry. With small changes to stabilize his blood sugar, Samuel's spark gradually returned. His laughter came easier. The garage lights turned on again. What you can do. If you felt emotionally off lately, don't rush to blame aging. Sometimes, it's your body asking for help. Here's how to protect your emotional health after 60. Eat to balance blood sugar. Avoid meals made entirely of carbohydrates, like a bowl of pasta or just a piece of bread. Always pair carbs with protein and healthy fats to slow glucose absorption. Don't skip meals. Long gaps without food can cause blood sugar crashes, worsening anxiety and fatigue. Aim for regular, balanced meals. Prioritize gentle movement. Even a 10-minute walk after meals can stabilize blood sugar and boost mood-boosting chemicals in the brain. Nurture your emotional world intentionally. Journaling, gratitude lists, creative hobbies, they don't just lift your spirit, they help regulate brain chemistry. Has there been a day recently where you felt off, emotionally drained, unmotivated, more irritable than usual, for no obvious reason? If so, you are not alone. And it might not be just you. It might be your body asking for kindness and support. If you believe emotional health is just as important as physical health after 60, type #WholeHealth in the comments. Let's remind each other, caring for the spirit is part of caring for the body. Deeper truth. Aging is not just about protecting our muscles, our bones, or even our brains. It's about protecting the light inside, the passion, the joy, the hope that makes life worth living. And every day, every small choice you make, you are either feeding that light or dimming it. Choose to feed it. You are in control. By now, you've learned how blood sugar affects the body in ways you might never have imagined. It creeps into your muscles, your brain, your heart, and even your emotions, making small changes over time that you don't always feel. Until one day, they're too big to ignore. But here's the thing. You have the power to stop it. You don't have to accept the silent damage. You don't have to believe that fatigue, memory loss, or difficulty walking are simply part of aging. Because the truth is, they don't have to be. You can reverse the damage. It's all about small steps, day by day, to make sure your blood sugar stays balanced and your body stays strong. The promise of today. You've heard it before. Aging is inevitable, but aging doesn't have to be synonymous with decline. It can be synonymous with growth, learning, and embracing life with strength and joy. By taking control of your blood sugar, you can protect your independence, your ability to walk, to lift, to care for yourself, your mind, to stay sharp, to remember, to create, your heart, to love freely, to live fully, to stay strong. Imagine looking back on your 70s, 80s, and even 90s with pride. knowing you made choices that helped you not just live longer, but live better. A lasting legacy. It's not just about you either. Your decisions today ripple out, touching the lives of everyone around you. Your children, your grandchildren, your friends. They learn from your example. You show them how to age with dignity, with care, with strength. Because aging isn't just about your body. It's about the example you set, the stories you share, and the love you give. Take the first step. So, what's the first step? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start. Start by checking your blood sugar. Start by eating one healthier meal today. Start by moving, even just a little more than yesterday. Start by listening to your body and responding with love. You are not alone in this journey. Together, we can create a community of support, strength, and longevity. Every step you take towards balance today is an investment in a vibrant tomorrow. Deeper truth. The power to change the course of your life is in your hands. Right here, right now. It's in your daily choices, your awareness, your commitment to yourself. Because, no matter what age you are, today is the perfect day to begin protecting your future. If today's message resonated with you, if you're ready to take charge of your health and aging, then type #Stronger-than-ever in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so you can keep learning how to live your best life after 60 with joy, strength, and purpose.